The pre-draft process shifting to the Lone Star State as we welcome you to Frisco, Texas. The Star, the Ford Center at the Star, practice home of the Dallas Cowboys today. Home once again to the Big 12 Pro Day. All 16 schools, over 200 prospects represented here. Some of the biggest names in college football will get one more opportunity to impress upon NFL evaluators here in attendance. Some names you will have seen from the Combine, some from the All-Star Game circuit, some we get the pleasure of introducing you to today. Hello, everybody. Great to be back here with you from the Ford Center at the Star alongside our lead draft analyst and former NFL scout, Daniel Jeremiah. I am Rhett Lewis. And DJ, this is a really cool event, and I imagine that the former scout in you is kind of like, all right, I can kind of dig this, not having to go to all of these pro day spots and kind of get one-stop shopping here.
Yeah, you're going to lose some hotel points. That's the only negative. But trust me, scouts love this because it's one-stop shopping. You bring the entire conference in here instead of hopscotching all over the country with these conference expansion that we've seen over the last few years. Yeah. It doesn't get any better than this. All one roof. Watch all these guys compete.
Well, so we saw the Combine, of course, finish with the offensive linemen up in Indianapolis. Here at the Big 12 Pro Day, we kick it off with the big men up front on the offensive line. And looks some guys again that we're going to see. Jonah Savenaya, you saw on some of our top of the broadcast there. Wyatt Milam, Caleb Rogers from Texas Tech. There's some big name guys here that we're excited to see, and some others that we're going to have a chance to introduce ourselves to.
Yeah, again, it's with the expansion of these conferences now. There's just a lot more talent. You have more opportunity, more teams, and this year in this conference, it's well represented with the offensive line.
Yeah, no question. All right, so getting a three-bag drill here. Drills are being run by Broncos offensive line coach Zach Strief. Give us a sense of what we're kind of looking for just to set the table for this drill here.
Well, you want to start, first of all, with bend and balance. Can you get down in your stance? Can you bend your knees? Can you punch with a nice, firm, sharp punch? You see the bags are coming into them. So can you show us a little pop, a little jolt with your punch while bending your knees and keeping a flat back?
Yeah. Here we go. All right, getting a look at Easton Kilty here. Played for Chris Kleiman in Kansas State.
There you go.
Good sturdiness.
Good job. Good job of bending your knees and staying on balance.
So Kleiman, we know, is a former head coach at North Dakota State as well, but got Kilty from University of North Dakota, transferred into Kansas State. There's Wyatt Milam. Had some really good tape against Abdul Carter.
I'm a Wyatt Milam fan. I think he's going to hear his name called in the third round as someone who can, as he showed in the All-Star game, play tackle or guard.
Caleb Rogers played up and down the offensive line due to some injuries for Joey McGuire at Texas Tech. We saw him get reps at center at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. We watch him on tape as the right tackle. He can really show off that sharp punch. Being out in space was my concern with him. So once we get into those drills, it'll be a good evaluation.
Good time. Darrell Simmons from Kansas Jayhawks. There's Jonah Savenaya.
He does remind me a lot of Mike Iupati when Mike Iupati was coming out. That same body type, big, broad shoulders, long arms. He's quick. He can really, really move.
Mike's getting into coaching now, Mike Iupati.
Yeah, how about that?
Good.
Saw him at Chargers camp last year.
Just a little bit, fellas, okay? It's about the strike, not as much about the movement.
Yeah, Savenaya, like Caleb Rogers, another guy who, really had to bounce around the offensive line for Brent Brennan at Arizona this year. And
you're good.
You're kind of account for injury, but he's got some good length to him. 84-inch wingspan.
Good.
Look at John Williams starting left tackle.
Don't stop.
Scott Satterfield at Cincinnati. Your old coach there, Deech?
Yeah, he can create movement in the run game. You'll see him wash down defensive tackles, a lot of power, a lot of strength. Just in pass protection at times, thought he could get a little bit narrow. So this is a good drill for that. You want to see, can you play with that wide, firm base?
Good. Here we go. Next guy.
Another Cincinnati Bearcat here, DT D'Artagnan Tinsley. You want to talk about length here. 85-inch wingspan on Tinsley, who started 9 games at left guard at Cincy. There's another Cincinnati offensive lineman, Philip Wilder. That's some detail, right? Like where your fingers are
placed, you don't want to break your thumb.
That's
one of the things he's trying to help him with.
That's a big one right there for sure. Okay, that was Emmett Boley from Arizona State. We're going to get a chance to talk to his head coach, Kenny Dillingham, going to join us in the booth here in just a little bit. Here, Logan Brown, another highly thought of.
Him and Milam are touching each other on my sequence list. Both guys I feel are third-round players at over 6'6", 311 pounds. He can play.
Yeah, real good opportunity to kind of see those guys in the similar environment right here, as we were talking about at the top of the show.
He's really good at the second level.
Peyton Dunn, one of 5 offensive linemen from Houston. Here, that's Caleb Etienne now.
Hey, fellas, you can hear it. Guys, if you guys watch and you can hear it.
Plenty of reps this year for Kalani Sitake.
You can see on the guys, too, like Cable do right there. They built up a nice sweat from this workout already.
This has been moving along quite brisk. Get the sense that Sean Payton there in Denver doesn't like Coach Streif to mess around, keep the efficiency high.
Get these guys moving.
Shamar Habdi-Lee, part of the Zero Sack Club. And we got our first bag down. Jared Hufford from Iowa State getting a rep here.
14 games at center.
That's always interesting to me to see, how we kind of fit guys in to the center. But I feel like a lot of times, once we move guys up to the NFL, we end up, moving them into center. We talked about that with Gray Zabel a lot from North Dakota State.
Yeah, it's interesting. Not a lot of centers drafted every year.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Yeah.
you get a lot of opportunities for guys to show what they can do. We've seen tackles kick inside.
Obviously, Graham Barton was the shining example of that last year.
You look for guys that have a little center experience early in their career, and then maybe they've kicked out the tackle and they're comfortable coming back inside.
Some of these guys, it's kind of interesting to watch. That there was a junior college ruling in college football that kind of came down that thought might allow some players who had JUCO experience to get extra eligibility. Once they got to the FBS level, and I think there was some discrepancy in how that ruling, affected some players. So some of these guys kind of got a late start on the pre-draft process. So teams maybe just kind of getting a real good look at them for the first time here at this event this week, which is obviously very valuable. Connor Pay.
Yeah, the pace is something here, man.
We are really, really flying.
See it. We're showing one side here. They're actually double-barreled here. They're going two at a time.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference in kind of watching these drills from the combine and what we do and what you have to do with Rich every year on NFL Network, and now kind of getting a bunch of these guys active.
If you beat the guy to the spot with the bag holder, you're wrong, right?
Cardell Thomas from Colorado. Only guy out there without a number on. That's, if you're wondering who that was.
That's just to make life difficult on you.
That's
right.
All. That's it. No big deal.
They transfer from Florida A&M.
Strike.
I think Coach Prime's going to be in the building here this week.
John Williams, one of the many Cincinnati Bearcats here.
Yeah. Philip Wilder, a game winner in emotional fashion. Rhett Lewis, Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks down on the field for us, getting a chance to watch the offensive linemen roll through some of the on-field work here, some of these positional drills.
It's kind of a drive block. Yeah, drive block here. A chance to see, can you roll your hips? Can you land your hands and drive, pump your legs?
Zach Streif, assistant head coach and offensive line coach for his old coach, now still his boss, Sean Payton. They were together in New Orleans as player and coach, now coach and coach there in Denver. Terrific year for the Broncos, and he's running through these drills, kept it really efficient, ran through these pretty fast and went double-barreled on them, had a couple of guys going at once. As we're showing you, Jake Wiley, one of 5 offensive linemen from Coach Willie Fritz's Houston Ball Club, here in attendance.
Yeah, and again, you mentioned it going 2 at a time. We're showing you one because it's a lot to swallow with your eyes.
It is.
When you see the double-barreled, which is also true for scouts. So you got to just kind of focus in on one guy and then and see what you can figure out and learn here. You see a lot of the notes on the screen as we're running through this, Brett, and you see a lot of 50s and 60s in terms of the games played.
That's awesome. 13 games. 12 starts at center right there for Brandon Yates, last West Virginia Mountaineer we just saw. Here's Boley from Arizona State. Boy, I really enjoyed talking to Kenny Dillingham. He's going to be at Arizona State a long time if he wants to be.
They have got a home run coach there.
Yep.
And to me, I look at that game against Texas where they take that all the way down to the very end. That they win that, they're in the Final Four, right?
Yeah.
If they win that ball game.
And Deej, would you say that Cam Scadaboo left it all, literally
yes.
all on the field?
I don't know what there is left to do on a football field. And the funny thing was, everybody in Texas, and they even said as much, they knew where the ball was going. They couldn't stop him.
You see it, you just can't stop it. Bucky, as you got to look at some of these guys down on field level, what kind of started to stand out to you about this group? Bucky, we'll get Bucky with us here in a moment. Joey Capra, right there from Arizona, an interesting one. I was talking to Coach Brent Brennan there from Arizona, said he kind of thought he was done playing football after he'd finished up at Nevada, was a late transfer portal addition, and dude just super grateful for every opportunity he got to play ball. You love those guys that really just enjoy the heck out of it and have such great passion for the game, like Leif Fatanu, all-conference player. At center, you want to talk about durable. I mean, it started and played about every rep that was possible once he got on the field for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, nice job. Yeah. And this is, again, when you're looking at these linemen, I think, we've got some guys here that are some day 2 players. You look at guys like Wyatt Milam. I think you can see him go off the board in the 3rd round. Logan Brown, 3rd round. A lot of these other players, though, you're talking about late round picks or priority free agents. And in a setting like this, I mean, this can get you a job opportunity, just watching how you move around.
Yeah, we saw that a couple of times at last year's event. Beanie Bishop, didn't end up getting drafted, but boy, did he make an impact. Played every game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's Marcus Jenkins.
He's got some big old legs on him.
Yeah. And we're gonna have the 40-yard dashes here from the offensive linemen coming up in a little bit. Braden Keim started right tackle for Kalani Sitake there at BYU this year. And boy, they transition right there from running the drill to servicing the drill. So there you go, Easton Kilty.
Yeah, Keim is 6'8.5". So if he looks large on your screen, there's a good reason for that.
Yeah, no question. And there's
35-inch arms.
Yeah, one of the crown jewels of the group right there, Wyatt Milam.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to play right away, get right on the field. I like him as a guard.
Did not allow a sack the last 2 seasons for the Mountaineers, so you love that.